please. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, you can lower your hand. Make sure you keep your voice up so that everyone can hear.
Okay.
All right, if you'll state your name for the record, please.
Wendy Castellón.
All right, state, you may proceed.
Thank you, Judge. Ms. Castellón, how are you presently employed?
Wells Fargo.
Wells Fargo? Okay. What do you do at Wells Fargo?
I'm a teller.
You have an accent. Where are you from, Ms. Castellón?
I'm from Nicaragua.
How long have you lived in San Antonio?
San Antonio, I would say 6 years.
How long have you been a teller at Wells Fargo?
20 months.
What duties are you responsible for as a teller?
As a teller, I help customer meet their financial goals. I do risk evaluation, like the same like as a teller. We do deposit, withdraw. The majority, that's what I do. Deposit, withdraw. We receive calls. That's my job description.
Okay. What was your role on March 7th, 2025?
I was a teller. Yes.
Were you working on March 7th, 2025?
Yes.
What location of Wells Fargo were you working at?
I work Wells Fargo in Zarzamora.
Do you recall the address?
It's 6919 South Zarzamora Street.
Is that in Bexar County?
I will say no. I don't know because I think that it's in the south side. So I don't know.
So the bank, is it in San Antonio?
Yes, San Antonio. Yes.
What are normal bank hours?
Our hour is 9 to 5.
9 to 5. And
Monday through Friday and Saturday 9 to 12.
And what hours do you work as a teller?
I have varied hours. It depends. Like I can be at 8, 8:15, 8:30 the latest, and I close. We close the bank at 5, but I leave. Sometimes depending on the closing, I leave at 6, 6:30. It depends on how busy we are.
Okay. With Wells Fargo, do they offer services when opening an account?
Yes.
Yeah. What generally is required when someone wishes to open a Wells Fargo account?
Well, I don't do that because I'm just a teller. The bankers are in charge of that one, but they need 2 identifications. Well, everything changed. Like they have been changing.
Objection, non-responsive. Objection, lacks personal knowledge. Said she doesn't match.
Overrule. You can continue with your answer.
So when we say 2 identification, normally they come to us and we just tell them you need a driver license from the Texas, and another identification can be a social security, consular. They can open up with the consular or passport, but they need an identification for like the Texas department to prove the resident.
Okay. And as a teller, do you deal with member accounts daily?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Majority are the members and non-members.
Okay. So people that are non-members can receive services from Wells Fargo?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. What kind of services can non-members receive?
Okay, if a member of Wells Fargo have an account and they give you a check, that is normally what they do, no? Because they can come and cash the check with 2 identification.
Okay.
That's the only service that we do, and we do also for non-customer if they need change.
She's answering. Was there a question here?
All right, that'll be overruled. You can continue your answer.
So they can also, non-customer can come with a $20 bill and we can give you the change.
All right, you may ask your next question.
Okay. When you have, let me rephrase. When somebody comes in to receive services from Wells Fargo, what is the process when you're servicing a customer?
A customer for Wells Fargo or non-customer?
Let's do customers.
Customer, we greet them by the name. We ask for the card. If they have their card, tap their card in the PIN pad. So that way it will show in my computer, in the system, their account. And if they don't have the account, they can tap the phone number that they have the digital wallet. They can tap. If they don't have that, we ask for an identification so that way I can go into the account.
Okay. And when you go into let me rephrase. Does Wells Fargo maintain client information on the accounts for members?
For members, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Generally speaking, what kind of information is maintained?
Sometimes they send, because I'm not in that department, but what I can see that which the customer tell us, they send message to the phone when it's something fraudulent.
Okay.
Like this.
Let me stop you there. Regarding a member account, what kind of identifying information? Does it contain the name of the customer for the account holder?
For the account holder, I don't get it, like the question, like when there is something suspicious, like.
No. We're just talking generally. If member of Wells Fargo comes into the bank and seeks services and you look up their account, what general information do you see about the profile?
Oh, I see all the address, the phone, birthday, social security, all the transactions that they have made, check that they have been cash or withdraw, everything that they do in the account, transfer, wire, all the information.
Okay. Does Wells Fargo maintain a signature for the member on the account?
Yes.
Yes.
When they open the account, they sign. That signature is registered in the account. And any change that they make, they keep everything on track.
Okay. Thank you. So when somebody comes to Wells Fargo with a check, what employee role is responsible for conducting that service?
Like, why is my?
If someone comes to Wells Fargo to cash a check, what employee at the bank helps them cash a check?
Oh, the teller.
The teller. Okay. So what is the process if a non-member comes to Wells Fargo to cash a member check?
Okay, they normally do the same line. We don't have line for non-customer and customer, so we greet them. We ask first thing that we ask if they have an account with us. So if they don't have an account with us, we require 2 identifications. It can be a passport, driver license, consular, but the second one can be social security, credit card, anything that have expiration and his name.
Okay. When somebody presents a check to the teller, are any steps taken to verify the check?
Yeah, we have to verify every check that we receive.
Okay. How do you verify checks?
Okay, if they are non-Wells Fargo, we go into the check has the account number. So we write that account number. So it will pop out like all the information, everything. So we can see the check, if there is it's a check because that's what the non-customer receive. So we verify the sequence of the checks. We verify signature, that's the most important thing. Handwriting in the check. We verify that the account is not stalled or like it's not closed because it has been stalled.
Objection there.
We verify
Just one moment. So whenever someone makes an objection, just stop talking and then I'll make a ruling on it. That objection will be sustained.
Okay. So what steps do you go through to verify a check?
like my first
Objection asked and answered.
Overruled. You may answer.
my first step is like write the account number and verify the signature, balances on the account, and if the account is not stolen, that's one thing. I go through the history of the person account and see if like the sequence of the check, like, like if that person has received checks before from the owner of the account. That's normally what we do.
Okay. So on March 7th, 2025, did you receive any checks to be cashed that day?
Oh, a lot of checks.
Yeah.
It was a busy day, so I will receive a lot of checks.
Okay. And on March 7th, 2025, do you recall any incidents that may have been suspicious transactions?
Yes, I remember that day. It was a busy day and we have to call the police
Why did y'all have to call the police?
because we have a check, fraudulent check. I have to call the police. First, I call the owner and then we see that the check was stolen.
Okay,
Objection
so
to hearsay?
Overruled.
on that day you said that y'all had to call the police. How did that whole event start?
Okay, so a non-customer came to my window. Where it's open, but I asked for two identification. I asked if he have an account. He said no. I asked, do you know the person? He said yes. Do you know who gave you the check? They answered the question. I was like, what kind of job did you did? Even though the check said there, it sounded like a little what I have to ask. And then I went to the account.
Okay.
Like,
I'm gonna stop you there. Do you remember like a physical description of the individual that came?
not really. I just remember he was short person, like kind of my size. And I remember what more like the vest that he was wearing, like a yellow vest.
A yellow vest?
Yes.
Okay. And that's all you can recall?
That's what and the Nike shirt because we have to give you the description. But that's the only thing that most that I remember that he was my size, like kind of Hispanic. And the vest, the yellow vest.
The vest. Okay. So he came in. What did that individual wish to do at Wells Fargo?
He wanted to cash the check.
Okay. Did you catch the check?
No,
Why not?
because when I received the two identification. I went to the customer account, and the signature didn't match. The check was off, so that's one stop sign already there. One the city.
Okay. So after you noticed that, what did you do?
So I asked him again, do you know the person, or to see his reaction? He gave me the check. So we continue asking a little bit more, so to see, no, if they continue with the answer.
I'm going to stop you there. So you said you continued conversing with him. Is that correct?
Yeah.
What was his demeanor?
Like he was like, at the beginning he was fine. Like, okay, he did a work for the company work.
So you said at the beginning he was fine.
Yeah.
Did his demeanor ever change?
After
what?
After a little while, because I told him, let me one moment, okay? So I went to another room, so that way the non-customer can hear what we are asking our customer. So normally we don't do in front of the non-customer or customer, so we go out another room and call the owner of the account.
Okay. So who called? Was it you?
First, I called the owner.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. And do you recall the name of the owner of the account?
I just always, Benton, I don't remember exactly, but I was with the owner of the account.
And you said you don't recall the name?
Benton.
No. Okay, perfect. So with the Wells Fargo check that was presented to you, does that check contain identifying information on it?
Like the check?
Yes, the physical check.
Oh yeah, it's like it give you the name of the owner of the account.
We're gonna walk through. We're gonna break it down.
I don't.
May I put you on?
Yes.
I'm gonna publish on the screen States Exhibit 1.
Very good.
So on the screen is States Exhibit 1. Looking at the check itself, can you determine whether it has been issued by Wells Fargo?
It's a Wells Fargo check.
How do you know?
Because, we go by the logo, but we have to go into the account to see the checks. So there are different checks. We cannot tell that this is the only one. There are different checks, but we go by the history.
Okay. I'm going to stop you there. So we know it's a Wells Fargo check. You mentioned a logo. Is this the logo?
Yeah, but some checks, they don't have the logo.
Okay, perfect. Some don't have.
They have they are different checks. They can be different.
Okay. Anywhere on this check, is there a Wells Fargo routing code?
Yes, you see it. The 111-900-659.
So this is the routing
that's
code?
the routing number. Yes.
What number is this?
That's the account number.
The account number to whom?
To the
Digit number, what is this?
That one is the serial, the check sequence.
Okay.
Yeah, all checks have serial sequence.
Okay. And then is the sequence Anywhere else on the check?
Just that one here on the top.
Okay, this one up here?
That's the check.
Okay,
Yeah, and
perfect.
it's the same line here.
Okay, so these two are the same. It
Mhm.
shows the check sequence, correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay, and then this information block at the top,
That one,
what information is this?
so that one is the owner of the account.
Okay, so this would be the account holder,
Yes.
and then to clarify, this would be the account number. for
The A,
Thank you. So this check that states Exhibit 1, was this the same check that was presented to you by the mail on March 7th?
it was, I can see because the signature didn't match.
So
Yeah.
I'm asking the check as a whole, the whole check.
Yes.
Is this the check that was handed to you as the teller?
Yes.
Yes, okay. I pass the witness, Your Honor.
Defense.
Yes. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Just a question.
Okay.
So you mentioned that you've been a teller for Wells Fargo for about 20 months.
20 more, correct.
So did you have a yearly review? at Wells
Yes,
Fargo?
we have a 6-month review and yearly review. But and we have like something. We have like mid reviews, like with our manager.
How was your score in your yearly review? Did you do well?
I do excellent service.
Keeps falling off by itself.
You said that person that was wearing a vest that cashed the check, there was someone else wearing the vest in the Wells Fargo branch on that day, correct?
Correct,
And you actually saw that person get arrested, correct?
correct. But not inside the branch.
No, it wasn't inside.
No, inside the branch.
He was arrested outside.
Outside.
Are you sure that wasn't the person that presented the check?
No, sir. My station go through the door. Like I can see everything. The parking lot, I can see everything. So I was the person who was aware to the police that I was the wrong person.
Okay.
Yes.
So you told them that it was,
Yes, because I know I was helping my non-customer, so I know where he was. I know at that moment he was there and who was the person. Yes.
and then when Officer McFaden released that person, came back into the branch, he made contact with you and you were laughing, right? Because he arrested the wrong person.
We were like no laughing about that. It was about the like the scenario, like not about the person who was arrested wrong. I was not laughing about that. It just like we get like a lot of customer. I have a customer in front of me, so it was not about that.
Do you know the name of the person that was arrested?
I don't remember. It's Carlos Perez. It was in the check.
Right. No, I understand that. But the person that was put in the handcuffs first time.
Oh no, no. The customer, he was fine. They were joking after he go inside the branch. He was like laughing with other customer making jokes.
Yeah, they put him in the handcuffs.
Yeah, because it was like a mistake. It was not like it was on purpose. And he was like, everybody was there, like, like, because also the customers that go, they know each other in our brand. They know us. We know them.
Right.
So it was no problem at all.
Okay. So on March 7th, Officer McFadden came into the branch after they had released the first gentleman. Did he ever ask you to see the surveillance video?
We don't have surveillance video, no.
So there's no surveillance video
No.
that exists.
Well, there are surveillance video, but no, but we don't give you to them.
You don't give it to
No.
someone else.
No.
But it does exist.
Oh yes,
Did he ask you for it?
he didn't ask me. He was talking with my manager because after he came out,
And I'm not asking you when he asked other people.
so no,
He didn't ask you to see it.
we don't have surveillance video. Like I cannot provide it.
Well, you have it, but you couldn't provide
We
it.
can provide it.
But he never asked you to see it.
No, because the guy was there. We pointed to the person who was the person.
You said that you asked, so by the way, you said that you don't really remember the person. What he looked like that day? Does he resemble?
He was
person?
short. He had changed a little bit because I remember a short person wearing the vest. Like it was from March. Like really, I don't remember at all. But he was short, like Hispanic person.
So all you remember is a short Hispanic guy.
Hispanic guy, yes. And I remember that day because he was in front of me. I keep him like more a little farther from you. So I was keeping him in my view because I wanted him like
But you're not 100% sure that's it.
not 100% sure.
You said that whenever someone cashes a check and they don't have an account, that you asked them for two forms of identification.
For identification. Yes.
Person that day that cashed the check, you asked him for the identification, he provided it to you.
Two.
He provided it to
You have to provide me two instead of, like, if not, I cannot two. It has to be two.
you. And that person was willing to provide it to you.
Yes,
So they were willing to show you their ID,
absolutely.
and it had all their identifying information.
Yes.
And they were also willing to show you a credit card that day, correct?
I don't remember what he showed me, but it has to be two. If they don't have, there has to be an identification. It can be a passport and a credit card. So I don't remember what he gave it to me, but it has to be two in order to me to call the customer and to verify.
So don't you agree that maybe because of these little details, it would have been useful to have the surveillance video so we could see this and see what type of ID he provided to you on that day?
Well, if he doesn't provide me the two identification, I will not be like, I will not help him at all. I will just pass the check and I will say, I'm sorry, sir, I cannot cash the check. So he has to give me two identification in order for me to see the check.
So this person on this day, Carlos Perez, he actually provided you the ID and the credit card with no problem and no argument.
Yes. Is that he gave me? I don't remember, but he has to give me two. We make copy of that, but he has to give me two identification.
You don't remember him getting mad that day and saying, no, I'm not going to give it to
Oh, no, no.
you. Was this the first time in your year plus at March that you've had at Wells Fargo that you've dealt with a fraudulent check?
If, can you repeat the question?
Sure. In your time at Wells Fargo, is that the first time that you had dealt with a fraudulent check?
Oh, no,
No, right?
no.
You've dealt with it in the past.
Yes.
Some of the people in that situation, do they not want to give you the ID?
Believe it or not, they act like normal customer. They don't act like suspicious or nothing. They have to go normal in order to us to believe that the check is correct. So they don't act like after we make questions, some customers they go out like little, but they pass it out everything that they have, like acting like normal. So that's up to me, like my work, to see if I can catch some fraudulent thing.
Moving forward to the check itself, you said that you called the owner of the account on that check, 674, and you called Clinton Buck.
Yes,
But
I
there was
called
another
Buck.
owner of the account,
yes.
and that was Patricia Buck.
There is another in the check.
Right.
Mhm.
And you didn't speak with her though.
No.
So you don't know if she gave some kind of authorization.
Well, the check, the signature, and when I asked him, he said that the person give you to him, the man give you to him. So the signature, it was like they trying to fake the Mr. Butler, like they were trying to fake his signature.
But you're not a signature expert or anything, right? So you don't really,
Oh,
you don't
well,
really testify about signatures or whether.
well, we have the signature on file, so that's why we can match the signature. If the signature is very old, that's something like it is my work. That's what they train me.
So that's a great point. So they have their signature on file. Do they have because it was unclear to me. Are you supposed to eye up the signature based on the one that's on file, or is there some type of computer system or something that doesn't work?
It's based on the file and the check that he was writing before, because we go through other checks that he have been writing, and everything was perfect except that check. That one, it was off, very off.
You say he has been writing. What do you mean he has been writing?
Well, in the signature, he said that Mr. Butler gave it to check. So I have two signatures in the system, Miss Butler and Mr. Butler. So Miss Butler is different, completely different, the signature.
Objection, non-responsive.
Overruled.
So my question was, are you the person, or how is the signature verified that it's correct? Are you supposed to look at it and make a personal judgment call, or is there like a computer system?
We do it.
You do. So you
Yes.
eye it up and you look and you determine if you think it matches the one on file.
Yes.
So if there was a check a few days before, the day before, that was cashed, that means that someone would have looked at it and thought it was close enough to the original signature.
We don't go just for one check, we go the whole history. If we are not sure, like me, that I see something off, I call the owner of the account.
So you go through the whole history. So if there was a check cashed the day before, you would have seen that.
I will see that, yes. If the system release the check, because sometimes system doesn't really like he cash a check before, I will not see in the system right away.
Thank you. Pass it.
No further questions from the state.
All right, is this witness excused?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. The rule has been invoked. You're not allowed to discuss your testimony with anyone until this case is concluded. Do you understand?
Right.
All right, thank you. You may step down.
Thank you.
Yes, if you'll leave it there, just up front on the desk. All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
This time, I just want to re-invoke the rule just to make sure that it's in.
All right, are there any witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
All right, state if you'll call your next witness.
State calls Alex Shawway.
All right, if you could raise your right hand for me, please. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
First name is Alex, Alex. Last name is Shawi, Shawe.
All right, state you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. How are you currently employed?
With the San Antonio Police Department.
How long have you been employed with the San Antonio Police Department?
About 2.5 years as an officer.
What is your current position with the San Antonio Police Department?
I'm a patrolman.
Have you been a patrolman the entirety of your employment with the San Antonio Police Department?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a certified peace officer?
Yes, ma'am.
What does that entail?
Getting certified by TCOL, the Law Enforcement Commission.
And how does one obtain TCOL certification?
There's schoolings that you can go to that's provided through TCOL with the San Antonio Police Department. We do our own schooling through our academy.
Approximately how long is this schooling?
With San Antonio Police Department, it's about 8 months.
What was your position on March 7th, 2025?
I was a patrolman
Patrolman. What area were you assigned?
on the south side of San Antonio.
Geographically speaking, what portion of, so you said south side, geographically speaking, are there any markers that help define that boundary of the south side?
Yes, on our computer system, we have designated districts for officers.
So can you describe it based on like highways or to give us a better picture of what encompasses the south side patrol area?
Anything below 90, highway 90.
Approximately how many officers are assigned to a patrol district at one time?
Per district, just one, but as the entirety of the south side, it's about 30 officers
Okay. And do all these officers work the same shift?
that are assigned to that shift, yes.
Okay. What shift were you working on March 7th, 2025?
B shift, our evening shift, 1:30 to 9:30.
And that PM?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you familiar with the case under SAPD 25045709?
Yes, ma'am.
What case is that?
That is the fraudulent use.
How did you get involved in that case?
I was dispatched.
What does it mean to be dispatched?
Whenever a call taker gets a 911 call, the dispatchers then dispatch designated officers to those districts.
And then how is it determined which officer is dispatched to a potential location?
If it's in their district, the district officer will go, but if no one's available, just whoever they can send that direction.
Does it depend on like proximity to the area?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, okay. Do you recall where you were dispatched on March 7th, 2025?
Not the exact address, but it was the Bank of Wells Fargo.
But that bank was in the south side, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And is that in Bear County?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So on this call in particular, were you the only officer assigned?
No, ma'am.
Who else was assigned to the call?
Officer McFaden.
Okay, so when you arrived to the scene, who arrived first?
Officer McFaden was first on scene.
Okay, approximately how much longer after did you arrive? Do you remember?
Less than a minute, I believe.
Okay. And were you all in separate patrol units?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. What did you observe when you arrived to the scene visually?
Officer McFaden was detaining a potential suspect.
Okay. Do you recall what that potential suspect looked like?
He was wearing a yellow traffic vest.
A yellow vest. Okay. Is that all you recall about the person Officer McFadden was detaining?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. What did you do when you arrived to the scene?
I went to go make contact with the complainant inside the bank.
Okay. And the complainant in this case is who you're referring to?
I don't know exactly who she was. She was just one of the bank tellers.
Okay. So she was a bank teller. Okay. What happened after you spoke to the bank tellers?
She pointed out the suspect, and then I walked to the suspect.
What is a visual description of the suspect that you were directed to?
He was in a yellow vest and a blue shirt.
A blue shirt. Okay. Do you recall the name of the individual you detained?
No, ma'am.
What was that? I'm sorry.
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am. Okay. Perfect. Your Honor, may I approach?
Yes.
Officer, I'm handing you what have been marked as States Exhibit 2 and 3. Can you please take a look at these? What are they?
Pictures of the suspect.
Do you recognize them?
Yes, ma'am.
How do you recognize them?
Just by the person that was detained.
Are they a fair and accurate depiction of the suspect you saw on March 7th, 2025?
Yes, ma'am.
To your knowledge, have they been altered or amended in any way?
No, ma'am.
Thank you. At this time, Your Honor, state would move to admit States Exhibits 2 and 3 tendering to defense for objection.
Objection.
All right, States Exhibits 2 and 3 are admitted without objection.
Permission to publish?
Granted.
Okay, so States Exhibit 2 is currently being published. Is this the individual you recall seeing on March 7th, 2025?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you see this individual in the courtroom today?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you please point to him and describe him based on an article of clothing?
The gray shirt with the plaid tie.
For the record, Officer Shaway has identified the defendant. So when you arrived to the scene, you stated you detained this individual, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Then what did you do?
I was consent to search his pockets and take everything out of his pockets and then place him into the back of my police car.
Okay, and why did you do that?
To gather his items off of the hood.
Okay, at this time, was there an investigation going on?
Yes, ma'am.
What was that investigation for?
We had reasonable suspicion that he committed a crime of the fraudulent use of a check.
Okay. And are you familiar with the term handling officer?
Yes.
What is a handling officer?
Handling officer is the primary officer that continues the investigation.
Are you familiar with the term cover officer?
Yes, ma'am.
What is a cover officer?
Cover is a secondary to the officer. He just assists the primary.
Okay, and at every call, is there a handling and cover officer?
Typically, yes.
What determines which officer is a handling officer or cover officer?
Depends on whose district it is in.
Okay, so in this case, who was the handling officer?
Officer McFaden.
And which officer were you?
I was the cover.
So as the cover, what duties were you tasked with in this case?
Detaining the suspect and then Mirandizing the suspect.
Why did you Mirandize the suspect?
Because we were going to question the suspect on the investigation.
On March 7th, 2025, were you equipped with body-worn camera?
Yes, ma'am.
To your knowledge, was it operational?
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, may I approach?
Yes.
Officer, I'm handing you what has been marked as States Exhibit 4. Do you recognize this?
Yes, ma'am.
What is it?
This is the body cam footage.
How do you recognize it?
We watched it earlier before the trial.
Other than to comply with the rules of evidence, has it been altered or amended in any way?
No, ma'am.
Is it a fair and accurate depiction of March 7th, 2025?
Yes, ma'am.
At this time, Your Honor, state moves to admit what has been marked as States Exhibit 4.
Judge, at this time, I would object to the body camera being played. I think it's improper bolstering of the witness. The witness is here to testify. He's here to give his version of the events. I don't see why it's necessary to try to bolster his credibility when his credibility hasn't.
All right, that objection will be overruled. Any other objections?
No.
All right, then States Exhibit number 4 is admitted.
Permission to publish, Your Honor?
Granted.
Now, officer, after you Mirandized the suspect in this case, what happened after that?
I just asked him a brief question on what was the call for.
Okay, and did he answer you?
Yes, ma'am.
Playing States Exhibit?
Where's your right? So now you know. It doesn't mean you're under arrest. It's giving you a warning. That's all it is. It's your warning. Before we ask any questions, it's my duty as a police officer to advise you of your rights and to warn you of the consequences of waiving these rights. You have the right to remain silent. You don't have to make any statement or any statement that you make will be used in evidence against you in court of law or at your favor. You have a right to have a lawyer present to advise you before and during. And by police officers or attorneys representing the city. You may have your own lawyer present, or if you're unable to employ a lawyer, the court will find a lawyer for you free of charge now or any other time. If you decide to talk with anyone, you can stop talking to them anytime you want. The above rights are continuing rights which can be heard when you make any stage of the proceedings. You understand these rights? Yes. So, what's going on?
No, I'm up over here. Yesterday, you do smart fireworks this guy and they take over the check. I guess it's a bad check. I don't know.
Okay, so you were doing for a guy,
Yeah.
you wrote your check.
So, I mean, second time I come over to cash it was,
So you wrote a check, cash on this check, and it bounced?
no, they just took it, they never give me any cash flow.
And when was this?
Today, now.
Like earlier today? Oh, right now. I thought you said this is the second time check that you bought.
So yesterday I came, they cashed it, no problem, and then they got paid me again today, and I got cashed it. They're on.
And then, so you know anything? Any questions?
No, they said, they were wait. So that,
Sounds like you know.
no,
Alright, so you can't cash a check,
right, I got paid for it.
right?
Started working, doing on this concrete work, so. That's it, I mean,
So-
I don't bring her down, don't feel like
So when you give it to them, they just didn't give it back. Any explanation?
no, she's like, no. So she said,
Okay.
Causing State's exhibit. In your interaction with Mr. Perez, what was his demeanor like?
He was calm, seemed confused.
Was he courteous?
Yes.
Was he polite?
Yes.
Okay. Is it in your training and experience, is it always that suspects are calm and polite?
No.
No. At this time, whose patrol unit was he in?
Mine.
At any time did he move in? At any time did he leave your patrol unit?
No.
At no point in your interaction he left your patrol unit?
Not during my interaction, but when Officer McFaden takes over.
When did Officer McFaden take over?
Slightly after.
Why did he take over?
He's the primary officer.
Okay. So at what point did you, I guess, take a back seat to Officer McFadden being the cover or the handling officer?
Just after I got his initial statement, I went and briefed Officer McFadden on what I did and what the suspect said.
Okay. And then what happened?
And then Officer McFadden took over from there.
And then what did you do?
I stood by until I was no longer needed on scene.
Okay. And then after you were no longer needed, what happened with you? What did you do?
I cleared and went to
Question.
more calls.
What does it mean to be cleared?
When you clear as cover, so you're no longer on that call, you 10-8, and then you go back into service.
Okay. I pass the witness, Your Honor.
Defense?
Yes. Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
You don't know my client?
I didn't know it's Perez, his last name.
Now you know. She asked you didn't know his name.
Not at the time.
You don't think it's important to know his name?
I deal with lots of people and I forget names.
Upon making contact with my client, the first thing you did was put him in the handcuff.
Yes, sir.
You didn't get any version of the events from him before putting him in.
No, sir.
But he wasn't technically under arrest at that point.
He was detained.
But he wasn't free to leave.
No.
If he would have said, I'm going to leave, you wouldn't have let him.
No, sir.
You had already made a decision about his guilt before you even talked, correct?
No, sir.
To be clear, you never saw Carlos Perez in session.
No.
You showed up after the fact.
Yes, sir.
Before you put him into cuffs, you hadn't looked into the check in question at all.
No, sir.
You hadn't talked to any of the bank employees about it.
Not about the check.
The only thing that you said that they did is they pointed him out.
Yes, sir.
Before you put him into cuffs, you hadn't reviewed the bank surveillance video and determined his demeanor through all of it.
No, sir.
When you have suspects come into the SAPD headquarters who come in for questioning, you generally don't put them in cuffs.
Yes, sir. We do.
Not all the time.
Suspects, yes.
Suspects. So you mean people that you've already made a judgment.
That are reasonable suspicion that they committed a crime, yes.
Carlos never showed any propensity to run or evade or resist.
Not when I was on scene,
So why did you need to put him in cuffs then?
because he was currently our primary suspect.
He was your primary suspect, but you hadn't seen any evidence at all.
No.
Whenever you made contact with Carlos, he told you that Officer McFadden was very physically aggressive with him, shook him up, right?
I believe so.
And you told him that's just what some officer styles.
Yes.
Is it fair to say sometimes that an officer gets aggressive with somebody that it might make them kind of timid or scared to talk?
Possibly.
You said that he seemed genuinely surprised.
He seemed confused, yes.
Once you do put him in the cuffs, and after you Mirandize, talk to him from 4:55 p.m. to 4:57 p.m. to get his version.
Yes.
So you take 2 full minutes to get his house.
That's just from a cover standpoint. It's a basic knowledge of what his side of the story was saying.
Did you do anything at that point? Or verify or discredit the
No, sir.
Was there anything he told you at that point that wasn't possible?
No, sir.
He told you that he had cashed a check the day before, successfully cashed a check.
Yes.
At any point, did you look into the first check that was cashed?
No, sir.
Would you agree that Carlos seemed like someone that was had a lot of anxiety about the situation?
Possible.
And that's just how he is?
Possible.
Thank you, Constance.
Officer, based on your training and experience, why do officers detain suspects upon arriving to a scene?
We don't know what kind of weapons they have. They could have pocket knives or small. Officer safety and public safety.
Are there instances where no weapons are found but suspects are still detained?
Yes.
Are there, based on your training and experience, times when you don't detain suspects?
Yes.
Okay. What are some examples of when that might be?
When we're still investigating, we're not unsure of who the primary suspect is. We'll separate the parties.
Okay. So generally speaking, when dispatched to a call prior to your arrival, do you receive any information about the call?
Basic information.
How do you receive that basic information?
Through the computer system.
In this case, did you observe a check?
No.
No. Did anybody in this case observe a check to your knowledge?
Officer McFaden.
Yeah, okay. No further questions, Your Honor. I pass the witness.
Yes. You said that sometimes you don't put potential people, suspects in cuffs when you're not sure who the primary suspect is, correct?
Yes, sir.
But Carlos was actually the second person that was put in cuffs that day, correct?
I believe so.
So isn't that by definition saying that you guys didn't even know who the primary suspect was?
We just had a general description, and Officer McFaden saw the other individual that was placed in the cuffs, and on the notes it says that the suspect was attempting to leave.
Thank you.
No further questions, Your Honor.
All right, is this witness excused?
Yes, from the state.
Yes, sure.
All right, thank you. You may step down. The rule has been invoked. You're not allowed to discuss your testimony with anyone until the conclusion of this case. Thank you. State, call your next witness.
State calls Zachary McFaden.
All right, if you could raise your right hand.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand if you'll state your name for the record.
Officer Zach McFadden.
All right, state, you may proceed.
How are you currently employed?
Work for the San Antonio Police Department.
How long have you been employed with San Antonio Police Department?
2 years.
What have been your duties over the past 2 years?
Patrol. I work patrol on the south side.
What general duties are involved when you are on patrol?
We respond to calls for service that come into 911, which could be anything from a noise complaint up to a shooting.
And you stated you're assigned to the south side, was that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
What shift are you currently working?
B shift.
What are the hours of B shift?
1:30 in the afternoon till 9:30 at night.
Are you a certified peace officer?
Yes.
What education is required to become a certified peace officer?
You have to go through a police academy and pass a TCOL test.
What was your position on March 7th, 2025?
I was on patrol.
Were you on duty on March 7th, 2025?
Yes.
Okay. Are you familiar with the case under SAPD 25045709?
Yes.
What case is that?
That is case we're here for, or a fraud case.
Okay, and on March 7th, 2025, were you dispatched to a location regarding this case number?
Yes.
Do you recall what location you were dispatched to?
The Wells Fargo Bank on South Zarzamora.
Is that in Bear County?
Yes.
Were you the only officer assigned to the call?
No. Officer Chavez was my cover officer.
Okay. Prior to arriving to the scene, do you receive information about a call?
Yes.
How do you receive that information?
We receive it through our city laptop, which is mounted in our vehicle. And whatever information is given to the 911 call taker gets put in text form on our computer screen.
Is that information transcribed real time?
Yes. As soon as it's put onto our call screen, it shows it's stamped with a timestamp.
Okay. So when you arrive to a scene, do you generally have an idea of an individual you may be looking for or need to take attention toward?
Most of the time when we're arriving on scene, we have some concept of the nature of the call. Sometimes we have person description, sometimes we don't.
So based on your training and experience generally, do you find that the information you receive is consistent with what you observe when you arrive?
It varies.
In what way?
Oftentimes, clothing description is wrong. Someone might say they have a red shirt, blue pants, and we get there in reality they have just the blue pants, and so something else is off. So oftentimes we will either consensually encounter somebody or detain somebody based off of one article of clothing matching the description given on the call screen.
So in this case, did you have a clothing description that you were looking for?
Yes.
What clothing description were you looking for in this case?
They said the suspect was wearing a reflective vest.
Okay, a reflective vest. Was there any other descriptors given?
I believe it said he was wearing a blue shirt.
Okay. So when you arrived to the scene on March 7th, 2025, what did you visually observe?
When my partner and I both got there, I observed a Hispanic male, which was the description given, wearing a reflective vest, moving towards a vehicle ready to leave. And then my partner was entering into the bank.
Okay, I'm going to stop you there. We're going to break it down. So you observed an individual getting into a vehicle. Do you recall what kind of vehicle?
I don't.
You don't? Okay. Do you recall what you did when you observed that?
Yes, I made contact with the individual and then detained him with handcuffs.
Okay, why did you detain him with handcuffs?
Because based off of the call that came in, we had reason to believe a crime was being committed. And the specific detail that was most recent was that the individual was getting agitated or aggravated and was trying to leave.
Gotta be sustained.
Okay. So you detained this individual in cuffs, correct?
Yes.
Did you develop your investigation more as you were at the scene longer?
Yes.
Did you only detain one person on March 7th, 2025?
I detained one person and my partner detained another person.
So the person you detained, did that end up being the suspect in the fraudulent use or possession ID info case?
No.
So who was the person you detained?
Mr. Perez.
The first person you detained?
That I detained? I'm sorry, I misunderstood.
Yeah, not Officer Chavez.
The person that I detained, I don't remember his name, but he was not the suspect.
Okay, and how did you determine he was not the suspect?
The caller, the bank teller that called into 911 indicated to my partner.
Hearsay, confrontation.
So
Sustained with regards to hearsay.
once you detained the suspect, what did you do?
Once I detained the actual suspect?
No, once you detained the person you said you detained at the scene,
Mhm.
what did you do?
That person only spoke Spanish, and I only speak English. So someone that was standing around spoke English and Spanish and translated between the two of us. Once my partner indicated that the guy I had was not the suspect, I released him from custody and explained through Spanish translation why we were there, how he matched the clothing description, and that he was free to leave.
So did you take him out of cuffs?
Yes,
Did you ever apologize to him?
I believe so.
Yeah. Okay. Are you admitting then to this jury that you made a mistake?
Sure, yeah.
Have you made mistakes before?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I'm very human.
Okay. On March 7th, 2025, were you equipped with body worn camera and body worn camera?
Yes.
Does your patrol unit have video as well?
Yes, it has a Axon dash mounted camera.
Does your unit with the Axon dash mounted camera, does it also have a rear camera?
Yes.
Okay, and so on March 7th, 2025, were all of the cameras that were equipped to both you and your vehicle operating?
Yes.
To your knowledge, were those cameras properly functioning? Excuse me.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Your Honor, may I approach?
Yes.
Officer McFaden, I'm handing you would have been marked as States Exhibits 5 and 6. What are these?
Those are my body worn camera footage and backseat footage.
How do you recognize?
I reviewed them before trial today and then initialed them with my initials and badge number.
Other than complying with the rules of evidence, are they altered or amended in any way?
Not that I'm aware of,
Are they fair and accurate depictions of the events that occurred on March 7, 2025?
to the best of my knowledge.
At this time, Your Honor, state would move to admit would have been marked as States Exhibit 5 and 6 into evidence tendering to defense for a
Judge, with respect to Exhibit 6, that is, well, I understand, just a muted version of the rear camera showing Carlos being in cuffs for basically 4 hours. Excuse me.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to give you a 10-minute break, all right? Remember my previous instructions. Everyone, please rise for the jurors. All right, everyone, please be seated. So it appears that there's some confusion over what State's Exhibit number 6 is.
Yes, Judge. So, in all fairness, I don't think she's trying to hide them all or anything like that. So she gave me the redactions. I went through it, but she had written on the paper about the redactions for the back camera that it was all muted. So I think that just meant that the most recent redactions that she had made were all muted. So that's why I thought that it was all muted.
All right, so if y'all will review those and then we'll bring the jury back
I'm
in.
ready, Judge, to make it, because the objection really wouldn't change, because when I get into it, we can.
All right, so I'm giving the jurors a 10-minute break, so we'll be back at 3:10. All right, thank you. And if you want to step down, you're more than welcome to step down. I'm assuming nobody wants me to adjust the thermostat. All right, everyone, please be seated. And where we left off, State, you had offered into evidence State's Exhibits 5 and 6. In defense, do you have any objections?
Yes, Judge. So I would object to the backseat camera video because it's going to show the same verbal testimony as the other video. So it's duplicate. And also because probative values outweigh the prejudicial effect. And to the other video, I object because of the incompetence.
All right. So with regards to your objections, those objections will be overruled. And if I could have parties approach briefly, please.
So Officer McFadden, we see you here at the Wells Fargo, correct?
Yes.
And then is this the individual that you detained initially?
Yes.
Can you please describe his clothing?
Oh, he's wearing a reflective vest and jeans.
And the reflective vest, is that consistent with the call notes prior to arrival?
Yes.
Approximately how long was this suspect detained?
I don't know. It's a short period of time.
Okay, and then what are you doing now?
Right now I'm walking him across the parking lot to get closer to our vehicles and get a line of sight on my partner. Make sure he's okay.
At any time, did you talk to the bank employees about this suspect?
Later in the call, yes.
Okay. At what point did you determine he was not the target suspect, I guess?
When my right there opening the door, I could speak with my partner, and he indicated that the caller pointed out the suspect.
Objection, Hairston.
Overruled.
What did you do once you determined he was not the proper suspect?
I released him from custody, unhandcuffed him.
Okay. Causing seats exhibit. At any point, or I guess at what point did the suspect move to your patrol unit, if at all?
Believe Officer Chavez had him detained in his vehicle, and at that time I was speaking with the bank employees. After I got done with that, we swapped cuffs so that he was now in my custody, and then I placed him in the back of my vehicle so that Officer Chavez could go back into service. It was a very busy day.
Okay, so at the time that y'all swapped cuffs, what steps had you taken in this investigation?
At that point, I had detained one suspect, released him, and then spoke to the complainant or the caller, and then gathered details from them.
Did you observe a check at all during this time?
Yes.
Was that check provided by the bank?
Yes.
To your knowledge, was that the check that was presented to them?
To the best of my knowledge, yes.
Based on your knowledge of the events, do you know how that check arrived to the bank?
Objection, Hairston.
Overruled.
Anything you would have, that would have been second-hand knowledge.
Overruled.
Based off of my knowledge, the check was delivered to the bank by Mr. Perez.
Okay, and then in this video, who's that on the screen currently?
That's my partner, Officer Chavez.
Officer, he's wearing gloves. Did you wear gloves during this call?
I don't remember.
Okay. Once you moved the suspect into, or I guess, let me withdraw. At any point, did you learn the suspect's name?
Yes.
Do you recall the name that he provided?
I just know his last name is Perez.
Do you observe the person in the courtroom who identified by his last name, Perez?
Yes.
Can you please point to him and describe him by an article of clothing?
Gray shirt, checker tie.
For the record, the officer has identified the defendant. Once you began your investigation, what information did you need to learn in order to make a decision whether you would arrest or not?
If we were going to make the arrest, we would have to have sufficient probable cause. to make that arrest. Initially, we just had him detained as we gathered details for the case.
And at any point, did you reach out to the truck owner?
Yes,
Do you recall the name of the owner of the truck?
I don't.
Okay. If you saw a photo of the truck, would that refresh your memory?
Yes.
No, I'll just show you. May I approach, Runner?
Yes.
During you states exhibit 1, would you please refresh your memory? And then look up at me when you have done that.
Okay.
So States Exhibit 1, is that the check that you received on March 7th, 2025?
It appears to be, yes.
Do you recall the name of the individual whose check the individual who the check belonged to?
Yes, looks like it was Clinton Butler.
Okay. Did you ever contact Clinton Butler?
Yes,
How did you contact him?
over the phone.
Okay. At what point in your investigation did you attempt to contact him?
After I had spoken to the tellers at the bank, and they said they had spoken to him on the phone.
Here's that.
Yeah, we don't want to get
Sustained.
into specifics.
Oh.
All right, so everyone, to make it easy for the court reporter, just ask your questions, make your objections, and then wait for my ruling, and then you all can proceed.
Yes,
So
sir.
the objection will be sustained. You may ask your next question.
Thank you, Judge. So you were successful in making contact, correct?
Yes,
Okay. Based on your investigation, did you determine whether there was consent for Mr. Perez to possess the check?
Objection calls for this.
Sustained.
Did you talk to Mr. Perez at any time during your investigation?
yes, Mr. Perez, yes.
Yes. Okay. Did you ask him what was going on?
Yes,
What did he tell you?
quite a bit over the course of several hours. Initially, he told me that he was contracted for some concrete work and that the check was payment for concrete work.
Okay, I'm gonna stop you there. We're gonna break it down. So he first told you that he was contracted for concrete work. Did he ever relay who hired him to do said work?
When I asked him that question, he said he didn't know.
Okay. Did he ever tell you who gave him the check?
He said he didn't know, I believe.
Okay. Do you recall whether Mr. Perez's story stayed consistent?
Mr. Perez's story of how he got the check was inconsistent.
In what way?
The details of why he was receiving the check changed at least 3 different times.
Okay. So you say 3 different times. What was the first version that was provided?
That he was contracted to do concrete work.
Okay. What was the second version that was provided?
Believe it that it was to do some pressure washing work.
Okay. And you said the third reason. What was the third reason?
The third reason, if I remember right, it was that someone was trying to cash the check, quote, using his credentials.
Okay. So did you ever at any point ask Mr. Perez what he did for work?
Yes.
Do you recall what he said?
He said he didn't work. He didn't have a job.
Okay. Plain state exhibit.
You are the concrete is for the PJ, thank you for professional sanitary services. PJ. And right now, I was working at Texas Capital Bank, and right now working at the every market downtown, right? So, then it's about maybe 6 months. After we started working on whatever, like I said, the work, and maybe we don't get every hour. We kind of we're going out, and we should really incorporate these things with years and yeah, I did not, the person who just they didn't even pay me, they didn't say the person in that acid, you know, so the brief started work, right? And say concrete, you know, yeah, residential on the house and but I think that you know people just they don't help with like I need a neighbor nothing when I go through I'll put that's for you. I didn't think that's what happened if it's a really good job. So and I didn't like I was making videos and everything. Sorry? No, really. There's a pretty big like in that and probably not, you know. Probably so like when you was kind of saying like and programming, I guess I could think the citrus piece too, right? So that's like very, you know, I don't know, I don't know, that much
Closing States Exhibit, at any time during your conversation with Mr. Perez, did he tell you he should not have taken the check?
Yes, I believe so.
Did he ever provide you a reason as to why he should not have taken the check?
If I remember right, he was saying that the person who gave him the check seemed shady.
I should get his name. Yeah. You know the address for that? No. You know the area? You were there, right? It was in the house. Near your house? Yeah. And where you live? 30 over there, something site. Of which it is. Something else, so I say that. 33 over freedom, 3 p.m. Here's making the one freedom, 8 p.m. visit.
But this time, officer, you had asked Mr. Perez for his address. Why?
Several reasons to, one was to verify that the return I was getting on my computer matched who I'm talking to. But the other reason was he indicated that he met with this person who gave him the check near his place of residence.
At the time that he told you that information about his address, were you aware of the, I guess, the complainant's address in this case?
I don't know at what point we're at on the video here, but I was gathering his address, the suspect's address, and then my goal was to get the victim's address and then compare the geography of the two.
Why did you want to do that?
He said that it was close to where he lived, so I wanted to verify if what he was saying was true.
Based on your investigation, did you collect enough information to verify whether that the addresses were geographically close to one another?
Close is a relative term, but I believe it was around 20 miles away from each other.
Resuming State's Exhibit.
Okay. Yeah, to near you now? Yeah. Near you now? That's what you're trying to say. Yeah, I wasn't making the salaries. Just like
Causing State's Exhibit. Do you recall whether Mr. Perez relayed to you that he believed the person that gave him the check was the rightful owner?
I remember him saying that he did not think the person who gave him the check was the owner of the check.
Resuming state's exhibit.
Yeah, it's I mean, and I don't think you can always go down, give them a check, either, but, or you don't think it's check along. Did the guy give it to me, at least I thought he did, because he gave it to me, why did you think it? Why wanted to be on there? Because we're acting around it, so, that was weird. No, like, this, yeah, I thought it did, so it's like, that's it, that's, you know, it's odd. I mean, really question.
Objection, elements.
I know.
If you pause, please. If you'll pause, what is your objection?
Oh,
All right, that'll be overruled. And this is, what state's exhibit is this, please?
State's exhibit 6, Your Honor.
All right, it has been admitted into evidence. The objection is overruled.
Resuming state's exhibit.
Yeah, I was here sitting out, but I don't know who was, it was a question check and then, you know, and just
do that job.
in a job, you know, or company work and all that. Like a couple of other question check, I use my, I don't really know.
We wanted to get your tech check passed by using your ID.
Like next to it,
And that would be helpful.
right.
It wasn't the job.
No, I mean, yeah, you're right. It's in front of them,
Pausing state's exhibit. So your video officer is quite lengthy, as we can see. Why was Mr. Perez in your vehicle so long?
Great question. For the San Antonio Police Department, we have a lot of detectives or follow-up units like fraud or homicide or any of the other units. Most of them get off work at about 4:30 in the afternoon. And at the point, I'm looking at the video right now, it looks like we're talking after 5 p.m. right now. So those follow-up units, specifically the forgery or fraud unit, would have been off work.
Okay, I'm gonna cut you there. So for this specific dispatch, what would be the follow-up unit that would handle the case?
It would be a gap detective.
Okay. And what is the gap detective?
The gap detective bridges the gap between when fraud or forgery gets off work and when night CID gets on work.
And what is that time frame?
From 4:30 p.m. till 7 p.m.
So at this time, do you recall whether you had attempted to reach out to the gap detective?
Yes, many times.
Approximately throughout the course of this investigation, do you recall how many times you attempted to reach out to a detective?
I don't. I just know it was enough to make me frustrated and Mr. Perez frustrated as well.
Was it more than one attempt?
Yes.
Would you say it was more than 5 attempts?
That would not surprise me.
Okay. Were you able to contact the gap detective?
Yes, eventually.
Okay. Is it uncommon that there is a delay when calls come in during this gap period?
No, it's not uncommon at all.
I don't remember if you stated, but is there only one gap detective or is there more than one?
I don't know. We refer to the gap as being a detective, but I'm quite sure it's multiple detectives that are bridging that gap.
Okay, but the detectives that bridge the gap, is it fewer than what would be the number of detectives on staff during the various shifts?
Yes.
Okay. Based on your investigation, did you determine whether Mr. Butler executed the check in question?
I determined that he did not.
Objection, hearsay.
Untimely.
Did you arrest Mr. Perez?
I did.
For what?
The specific charge, you're gonna have to read it to me, to be honest. It's a fraudulent possession of identifying info, I believe is the exact phrase.
And then why did you, or I guess, because you arrested him, did you feel you had enough probable cause for this offense?
Yes.
Okay, what did you base that determination of probable cause on?
Based off the totality of circumstances, statements, and facts.
Okay, so just to follow up as well, during this long period of time, did you allow Mr. Perez out of the vehicle at any time?
Yes.
Why?
We had been in that vehicle for quite a while, and I know at one point I put him in 2 pairs of handcuffs to give him greater mobility in his shoulders. And I know at another point I allowed him to use his personal cell phone to contact work, to say that he was going to be delayed or not be there, something. I don't remember what it was.
I pass the witness, Your Honor.
Yes.
Good afternoon.
After
What was the name of the person you put in handcuffs before you put Carlos Perez?
I don't recall.
You don't know his name?
Yeah, I don't recall his name.
Don't you think you just fit in this?
Sure. Yeah.
So arresting the wrong person, that was embarrassing.
Not at all. He wasn't arrested. He was detained.
You're human and you made a mistake at your job.
Sure.
You have a very important job, correct?
I would say so.
When you make a mistake at your job, someone loses their living for some period of time.
If I were to arrest the wrong person, then that would be a very big mistake. In this case, someone was just detained with handcuffs.
How long between the arrest of the unknown person and Carlos? How much time passed?
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
How much time passed between the time that you arrested this unnamed person and Carlos? How much time?
Very short time from putting the first person in handcuffs, detaining him with cuffs,
Yes.
to the time that I released him, or to the
To
time,
the time that you were detained. How much time?
very short period of time. I believe I was detaining the unknown male at the same time or in the same, the same close time period as Alex was detaining Mr. Perez.
And you said both individuals were in yellow work vests.
Both individuals were in reflective vests.
So Carlos was dressed as his from the job site.
Yes, both individuals were dressed that way. Yes.
So whenever you had the unnamed person detained, Carlos would have had the opportunity to escape, to leave.
I'm sorry, Carlos. Could you just clarify who we're talking about here?
Yeah, this is Carlos.
Good deal. I just want to make sure.
Got it.
Yeah, Mr. Perez. Got it. So the only reason is I've just been referring to him as Mr. Perez. So Carlos Perez. So he would have had an opportunity to escape. Yes.
But he didn't do that.
No.
And he actually just stood there and watched all this happen.
To the best of my memory, at the time that I was detaining the first person, Mr. Perez was being escorted out of the building and was detained at that moment. Even though handcuffs weren't placed on him yet, he was detained at the moment that he was interacting with police.
When you initially approached Carlos, you approached him pretty aggressively, right?
I don't know that I was aggressive. I approached Mr. Perez in the way that I approach a lot of people. At that point, I'm just investigating a possible crime.
Investigating a possible crime.
Yes, sir.
The first thing you did when you made contact with him was put him in the handcuffs, correct?
Yes. Yeah. The first thing that we did was place him in handcuffs. Yes.
So you didn't ask him one thing about the eviction or any fact.
I don't recall if I asked him anything before placing him in handcuffs. No. And the same,
Thank you if you didn't.
no, not at all. No. Most of the time we put handcuffs on prior to having conversation with possible criminals.
But you didn't really have any information that he did anything wrong with that.
Yes, I did. I had and called the 911 indicating that someone matching his description was trying to pass a fraudulent check and that they were trying to leave the location.
But he actually wasn't trying to leave. Was he?
At the time that I was interacting with him, no, he wasn't. I was going based off of credible info from the person calling 911.
And the person that was trying to leave the location was never actually Carlos. It was the other guy, right?
I don't know whether or not Mr. Perez was trying to leave the location. I was running based off of what the caller was telling the 911 operator.
Before you put Mr. Perez, Carlos, in handcuffs, did you ask to see the surveillance video in the bank?
No, not at all.
Did you ask to see any bank records?
No.
So you just completely relied on what you learned from the bank.
Again, placing someone in handcuffs is not an arrest. They're just detained, and that's for our safety and for their safety.
For your safety and his safety, but he was very compliant, right?
Yes, after we put him in handcuffs, he was very compliant.
He was compliant before you put him in handcuffs.
It appears he was compliant walking out the door to the vehicle, and then he was compliant while we put him in handcuffs. Throughout the entire call, I knew Mr. Perez to be nothing but compliant.
So he was very friendly and polite the whole time.
Yes, good guy.
And he seemed generally
He seemed confused as to what we were doing there and why he was in handcuffs on the initial interaction. But as the investigation continued on, he seemed to know exactly what we were doing there.
he wasn't kind of downplay the fact that you had him in handcuffs either. He was never free to leave him.
No, if someone's detained, they're not free to leave.
And whenever he was put in handcuffs, he was then in handcuffs for over 4 hours.
I would believe that, yes.
Over that 4-hour period, he was never offered water.
Offered water or food?
Or
Not that I know of, no.
that's a long time.
Sure is, yeah.
Whenever you started talking to him, he immediately told you that he was given a check by a man in his neighborhood for work he had done for concrete and pressure washing. Correct?
He initially told me it was for concrete work and then later changed it to pressure washing.
But couldn't that be the same thing? You pressure wash concrete?
I worked construction for years before getting into law enforcement, and a guy that works concrete and a guy that does pressure washing, the two different job spheres altogether. No, a guy who does concrete usually is setting up forms, or they're pouring, or they're doing rebar work and maybe finishing. But a guy who does pressure washing doesn't do any of those things. Just in my experience, that's just me though.
Or if the person who gave Carlos the check seemed shady, that doesn't necessarily mean Carlos had the check with intent to defraud him, right?
No, not at all.
If anything, maybe it makes him gullible,
Sure, yeah,
makes him trusting,
sure,
maybe a really nice guy.
sure.
At one point, I believe it's 17:10 in the video, Carlos says, "I'm getting nauseous." And you said, "Just tell the truth. That's the best thing that you can do." Right?
I would have to see the video. I don't recall. It's a long video.
It was a long, right?
It was very frustrating for everybody involved. Yeah,
So Carlos told you a lot of things about it.
sure, yeah.
He told you that he worked for HEB for 30 years. He told you that he was married to someone who worked at SAPD. And he mentioned her name, and you mentioned that you knew her, right?
Yes.
He told you multiple times that I didn't do anything wrong, right?
Again, I don't know everything that we talked about. if we review the footage and he makes that statement, I'm sure that's accurate.
At one point over the very long, you told him, I'm an officer, I'm not a detective. I don't do interrogations, right?
I don't know for sure. I don't recall, but that I typically would tell people while we're discussing any sort of investigation that I'm an officer. Just to clarify, because a lot of people ask for street detectives or for like our rope detectives, where oftentimes certain discussions about whether or not they're going to be arrested that day or not, that takes place.
Let's be honest. We're doing interrogation. That's what you were doing.
I was investigating a crime, and to do that, this specific crime, I was asking Mr. Perez his side of the story, and then the caller their side of the story, and I was doing so after Mr. Perez was read his Miranda rights.
And sitting in handcuffs in the back of your police car.
Yes, yes.
So are you trained at doing interrogations or are you not?
I'm trained to carry out the duties of a police officer. Part of that is to ask questions to try to build reasonable suspicion or probable cause for any investigation.
So were you don't have to, when you do an interrogation or an interview of potential crime, you don't have to tell the truth, right?
When it comes to asking someone questions,
Right.
most of the time a question is, I don't know how else to put this. A question is a question. It's not a lie. So,
But you can't lie to him though. You don't have to, everything you tell him doesn't have to be true.
would I be able to lie to him?
Yes.
Yeah, I'd be able to lie to him.
Yes. You told him multiple times that you were going to try to get him out of there, right?
Oh yeah.
But you were lying.
Oh no, I was to be completely transparent with you. Nobody wanted this arrest, myself included, and the detectives. That was part of the frustrating part. Is everybody was trying to get in touch with a fraud or a forgery detective to handle the case. And one thing I indicated to him is if I don't have enough evidence in front of me, then I would list him at large, which would I would write the report, but he wouldn't be arrested that day. The detective could follow up with an arrest warrant later, is kind of what we were indicating, him walking free.
Aside from thinking that his story is inconsistent, you never really disproved his story at all. You never went to his job site or anything like that. You just said it was.
I said it was inconsistent based off the details he told me, from being contracted to do concrete work, to being contracted to do pressure washing, then to being asked to cash a check using his credentials, whatever that meant, on down the list there. That's what I mean by it being inconsistent. It wasn't the same story, the same backstory.
So at 5:55 in the video, you actually make phone contact with him. Right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You had a 6-minute telephone.
I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know how long it was, but I had a phone conversation with him.
Don't you agree that that's pretty short for a situation like that?
I don't know. Every conversation I have, like the conversation we're having now, I don't really think in terms of whether or not a conversation short or long. It's more about if we're having effective communication.
When you had that conversation with him, did you learn about a Luis or Alberto Vasquez?
I don't recall.
Do those names sound familiar to you at all?
Say the name one more time.
Luis Vasquez or Alberto Vasquez?
I don't recall.
So you never heard about gardeners in Mr. Butler's house that had access to the inside of the house and that he wrote checks to?
That sounds, something like that sounds familiar. Something about gardeners. I don't recall exactly what we talked about on the phone.
You didn't write that in your report, mention that anywhere else.
No, I just read the report. No.
Don't you think that would have been helpful in the investigation?
Objection, speculation.
Overruled.
Do I think they would have been helpful to list the gardeners' names?
Yes.
No.
You don't.
No.
So didn't we just kind of get them talking about the fact that they had access to the inside of the house? Mr. Butler?
Like I said, I don't recall the conversation I had with Mr. Butler. You mentioned something about gardeners that does ring a bell. Other than that, I don't know whether or not gardeners had access to the inside of the house. I'm just running off memory here, so I don't remember.
Who else had access to the inside of the house at this time?
So the
Don't you know personal knowledge?
Well, that's
Overruled.
to the Butler home.
yes. Who else had access?
To my knowledge, and this is just me speculating here, I would say
Abstain.
It's speculation, Judge.
If you don't know, just say no. I don't know.
All right, time out. Sorry. Can I have parties approach?
We're off the record.
All right, you may proceed.
You don't know who had access to Clinton Butler's house on or around March of 2021.
I don't know.
You didn't ask him who had access to his house.
I don't know whether I asked him or not.
You weren't interested in trying to find anybody else that may have been responsible for this check.
I had quite a bit of interest in finding out who would be responsible for writing these checks.
But you didn't ask.
I don't remember everything I asked Mr. Butler on the phone.
But in that very short conversation, you did learn that he was a former district attorney.
Yes, yeah.
To which he said, fantastic.
I don't remember.
Patricia Butler is also.
Yes, sir.
You didn't talk to her.
No.
Do you know if Clinton or Patricia, who wrote more checks on the account?
I don't recall. I know there was something mentioned on who wrote checks. Sorry, who wrote checks. I don't remember which way it went. He said something about one of us writes more checks than the other. I don't remember who.
Would it surprise you that Patricia writes like way more checks than he does?
I don't know the Butlers at all.
You know, in light of that, wouldn't it have been useful to talk to her?
It could have. Yeah.
Over the course of that 4 hours, eventually an officer, I presume he's an officer, from crime scene investigation showed up, Officer Trevino.
I believe, yeah, he's with the CSI unit. I believe he's a civilian, but yes, someone working for the CSI unit showed up.
And testified earlier that you weren't wearing gloves.
Correct, yes.
And whenever the CSI unit person Trevino came, he was not happy that you weren't wearing gloves.
He was not.
So that was another mistake, right?
Yes, very, very human.
Either during the 4 hours that you had, let me back. So you could request that CSI guy. Did you ever request someone that could do handwriting analysis to see who signed the check?
The only things I requested was a detective that handled the case. And then once I was directed to do so, a CSI tech to take custody of the evidence. Like they would take custody of a firearm case or anything like that. They're going to photograph it, take custody of it. Those are the best of my memory. Those are the only two things I remember asking for.
So he came and took fingerprints of the check.
I don't. I remember him documenting the check, and I remember him taking custody of it.
Well, that was the reason he was mad at you for not wearing gloves, because you were painting the check.
Right. Yeah.
So you guys can get a person out there to do fingerprint analysis, but you can't get a person out there to look at the terms you sign.
To do signature analysis.
Right.
I don't know all the capabilities of our investigators or CSIs when it comes to checks.
Officer, at one point over the course of the 4 hours, you told a fellow officer that you thought maybe this would be an at-large case.
Yes.
What is an at-large?
An at-large case would be if we have some form of an offense, but maybe not enough evidence to make an arrest. And so we would leave room for a follow-up unit to do more investigation to determine if they're going to file a warrant for the arrest of the individual. The report would still be written as though the person is the suspect, and then allow units to do a follow-up investigation.
And sometimes you don't arrest people at the scene, you do an at-large case, right?
Right, yes.
And so in that situation, you maybe wouldn't have arrested Carlos, and you would have done more investigation and then determined if there was enough evidence to proceed on the case.
You're asking in the case of an at-large?
Right, if you would have went that route instead.
If we didn't have, let's say, one of the pieces I had on that day, then I would have been very happy to release him and just file it at large and let investigators follow up with the case.
So I've asked you about several things that you didn't have. Wouldn't this case would have made more sense to be an at-large case so you could have further investigated it?
I don't do any follow-up investigation on cases like this. I'm not an investigator, I'm just an officer.
So your testimony is basically the reason it took over 4 hours to just make a decision on whether to arrest my client for the charge is because of SAPD's work schedule, essentially.
Sounds about right, yeah.
That's not really fair, right?
Sure isn't.
Who stole the checks from Clinton Butler?
Objection relevant.
Sustained.
Did you look into Becca? So did you look into the previous check that Mr. Perez said that he had cashed?
Okay, the check that Mr. Perez said he cashed.
Yeah, he told you that he went
Yes.
into the bank and the day before that he had
Okay.
successfully cashed the check.
I didn't, by look into it, no, I didn't take custody of any other check.
No, I know.
Just that I talked to the bank teller, and she had said that he had come in earlier and cashed another check.
Right. So that's my question. So the day before, Carlos told you that I went in and cashed a similar check day before, and it was successfully cashed.
Yes.
Right? Do you remember that?
Yes, yes.
Did you? And so that check was successfully cashed. It wasn't held up and he wasn't arrested.
Correct.
Did you look into that check? Did you go look at it? Did you look at statements? Did you look at anything about it?
No.
No problem.
Pass notes.
Officer on cross, you mentioned that you had, you were referring to pieces. When you refer to that, what pieces do you need when you're investigating a case or a particular case?
Pieces of evidence or probable cause to build up to the point of an arrest.
Okay. Two offenses, are there elements that meet the statute?
Yeah.
Objection, lack of personal knowledge, calls for legal.
Overruled.
Why did you want to make contact with Mr. Butler?
Two reasons. One is the bank employees themselves said they had made contact with him and that he had provided statements to.
Objection, hearsay.
He's not getting into what was said, so it's not hearsay.
All
He's
right.
saying he's making statements to someone without him saying what was said. That's not hearsay.
All right. If you'll repeat your question.
Why did you want to make contact with Mr. Butler?
You want me to answer?
Yes, you can answer that.
Yes, just because bank employees had spoken with Mr. Butler and made that Mr. Butler had made statements to the bank employees, and so I wanted to corroborate those statements.
Were you able to corroborate those statements?
Yes.
Regarding the conversation of wearing gloves, if Mr. Perez brought the check to the bank, wouldn't his prints have been on the check?
I would assume so.
Okay. During the duration of this call, whose hands did the check pass through? To your knowledge.
To my knowledge, just based off the call details, Mr. Perez's, to bank employees, to my hands, and then to the gloved hands of the CSI.
I pass the witness, Your Honor.
Further questions?
There was eventually a detective assigned to this case,
Yes.
and it was Detective Wola.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
No further questions, Your Honor.
All right, is this witness excused?
Yes.
All right, you may step down. The rule has been invoked, so you're not allowed to discuss your testimony with anyone until the conclusion of the case. Do you need any more Kleenex before you
I'm
leave?
going to take some with me.
You may take some.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, State, call your next witness.
The state has no further witnesses, Your Honor.
Do you rest?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to give you a 5-minute break. Please remember my previous instructions. Everyone, please rise for the jurors.
Your set. If there was any admissible evidence that's presented that showed that. Every witness that's called showed up after the fact. Additionally, there was no evidence on his intent to defraud or anything that would have indicated that. Basically, the only evidence was that he stood there, he was very cooperative, he didn't try to leave, he didn't do anything evasive, he didn't try to fool anybody. He was there to cash the check. There's no evidence that he did with intent to harm.
All right, let's start with the first. Yes.
And additionally, in the indictment, it says that he would have to prove this. He didn't have proof of, so without the effective consent of Clinton Butler. The Clinton Butler is the only person that had access to the account. Trisha Butler also had access to the account. We never heard from her. We never heard whether he had her consent.
All right, so let's start with defense's first argument. He said there's no evidence that Mr. Perez ever possessed the check.
Okay. So my response to the motion in whole is that it should be denied because there is at least a scintilla of evidence as to every element of the indictment. But regarding that, the testimony of Wendy Castagnon, who was an employee at the Wells Fargo, who testified that she was the teller at the time that this defendant approached her and passed the check to her, meets that element. And she provided the suspect information that she observed on scene, which was the defendant in a yellow work vest wearing a blue shirt, and that's seen on the state's exhibits when the defendant is detained and placed under arrest. So we've met our burden there. Regarding the intent to defraud, that is in and of itself, the defendant possessing a check. His own statements prove that he had the intent to defraud when he's saying that he possessed it from somebody that's shady, not the owner of the account, and that he knew that he shouldn't have done that. That's the evidence that proves that element. And then regarding the non-consent, Mr. Butler, Clinton Butler, is the person that is on the indictment, and he took the stand and testified that he does not know the defendant and did not provide him any consent as to that account. And I will point out to the court that the fraudulent signature that's affixed to the check is that belonging to Clinton Butler, not Patricia. So we would ask that you deny the motion.
Judge, if I may just.
Yes.
Very brief. Wendy, Caston, could not identify my client. She never actually identified him. She said it was someone that was Hispanic and kind of short, but she couldn't be 100% sure that it was him. So she never actually identified him.
All right, the motion is denied. And defense, do you have any witnesses that you plan to present or no? Do you need time to talk to your client?
Yes.
All right, State, if you'll step out while he speaks to his client.
Of course, Your Honor.